Did Sharon Stone get her role in Basic Instinct illegally? What medical condition caused her to withdraw from Hollywood 20 years ago? And which film franchise earned her an Oscar and a Golden Raspberry? Hi, I'm Janet, and you're watching OSSA. Let's hit it. The twisted journey to stardom. Few celebrities become known for a single role, much less a single gesture. But Sharon Stone is the exception. The award-winning actress has just released a memoir, which finally uncovers the truth behind that scene in Basic Instinct, as well as the highs and lows of her career. And it's not for the faint-hearted. In fact, it's like something straight out of Hollywood. Before she'd even graduated high school, Sharon was already impressing her peers and family by winning a few beauty pageants, as well as a writing scholarship to the University of Pennsylvania. While she was at university, Sharon worked as a model, but slowly developed a love of acting. After graduating, she worked as a professional model for 3 years before landing her first small film role in Woody Allen's Stardust Memories. But still, Hollywood proved elusive to Ms. Stone, who admitted in her memoir that she'd been painfully shy and introverted when she first started. To remedy this, she went to several acting classes with well-known instructor to the stars, Roy London. For anyone wondering, he's coached some of Hollywood's biggest names, including Brad Pitt and Robert Downey Jr. After playing a few more small roles, and with the confidence and lessons she'd learned from Roy, including how to embrace her sexuality, Sharon started to finally get noticed in Hollywood. Her big break came in 1990 when she was cast alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger in Total Recall. At the same time, she also posed nude for Playboy magazine. Despite some critics calling the shoot taboo and warning Sharon that it would ruin her blossoming career, the opposite turned out to be true, and she came full circle from an introvert to a sex symbol. Soon after appearing in the magazine, Sharon was cast in Martin Scorsese's Casino and earned her first Oscar nomination. It seemed that her career was finally taking off. If only she'd listened to her own Basic Instinct. Although Basic Instinct officially propelled Sharon Stone into superstardom and made her an international sex symbol, the casting process was far from easy. In fact, the only way that she could get the script was by theft. That's right. After requesting the script and being turned down, Sharon's agent, Chuck, broke into the casting director's office to get her a copy of the script. When she read it, the actress knew it was the perfect role for her, and she was determined to get it. After proving he was comfortable with breaking and entering and theft, Chuck took to basically stalking the film's director, Paul Verhoeven, begging him to let Sharon do a screen test for the part for around 8 months. And that determination seemed to have paid off, because after trying and failing to cast an astonishing 12 other actresses, the director finally agreed to let Sharon audition. Even though she landed the role, her excitement was short-lived. The actress admitted that when she was first called to meet the director, she was incredibly nervous. But those nerves soon turned to humiliation. Despite Basic Instinct being the 18th movie on her resume, the director reminded her that she hadn't been their top choice. According to the actress, he elaborated, "You were not our first choice, Karen. No, you were not even the second or third. You were the 13th choice for this film." And he continued to call her Karen throughout filming and post-production. And if you thought her first meeting with her new boss was bad, you're in for a shock. It got worse. Because of the emotion and violence portrayed in the film, Sharon was struggling emotionally and psychologically. She elaborated, "I can say that the role was by far the most stretching that I had ever done in terms of considering the dark side of myself." She also admitted that during filming, she often had horrible nightmares and even started sleepwalking. And it started from the very first scene in which her character is pictured stabbing a man to death. Off-screen, the actress felt overwhelmed with the scene and how violently the director pushed her to make it more gruesome. She added, "It seemed I had hit the actor so many times in the chest that he had passed out. I was horrified, naked, and stained with fake blood. And now this. It seemed like there was no line I wouldn't be asked to skate up to the very edge of to make this film." Nevertheless, Stone made it through the filming and delivered an amazing performance. But there was another surprise waiting for her, as she discovered when she was called in to see the final version. While filming, the actress was told that the now infamous crotch shot was explained as a simple solution to prevent light flare from her white panties, and that no part of her anatomy was visible to the viewer. Alas, that wasn't true. When she first saw the shot and realized that everything was on full display, she was humiliated and ashamed. In response, she explained, "I went to the projection booth, slapped Paul across the face, left, went to my car, and called my lawyer, Marty Singer. And Marty said, per the Screen Actors Guild, my union, it wasn't legal to shoot up my dress in this fashion. Whew, I thought. However, when she informed the director about her lawyer's advice, he laughed it off. In 2017, when Sharon first spoke out against him, he replied, "Sharon is lying. Any actress knows what she's going to see if you ask her to take off her underwear and point there with a camera." And as we all know, the shot stayed and Sharon's life and career changed forever. Success isn't always sweet. As difficult as Basic Instinct was for Sharon to film and later watch, it was the perfect move for her career and allowed her to seriously pursue all kinds of roles she'd always dreamed about. She explains in her book, "I am proud of my success in my work. It belongs to me. I earned it. I go into each project wanting to do my best, be my best, hoping for the best outcome." But that doesn't mean it was easy. She was still facing the behavior that later fueled the #MeToo movement. Between bosses who expected her to sit in their laps while being directed and then refused to film when she wouldn't, and multiple producers on multiple films who suggested she actually sleep with co-stars to create some on-screen chemistry. But her response was pretty epic. She suggested that instead, they find a co-star with actual talent. However, her speaking out against this behavior also earned her the label of being difficult to work with. Luckily, Sharon Stone has never let the injustices she faced distract her from her dreams, and she's become an outspoken advocate for other women facing similar problems in Hollywood. Looking back, she admits that was as much out of her own need to achieve as it was out of desperation and lack of other options. In her own words, "Many people ask me what it was like in my days of being a superstar. It was like this: play ball or get off the field, girl, and everything was going well on that field until 2001. The life behind the lens. So far, everything we've discussed is just about Sharon's career. Sadly, at home, things weren't much better. Her first marriage with television producer Michael Greenberg in 1984 lasted only 3 years, before she later met Phil Bronstein, marrying him in 1998. Despite adopting their first son together, the couple filed for divorce in 2005. One of the main reasons for the failure of this marriage was the actress's health. In 2001, when she was only 43 years old, Sharon suffered a stroke. At the time, she didn't realize what her blinding headache and strange symptoms meant, so she put off going to the hospital for 4 days. Shockingly, this decision almost cost Sharon her life, because she didn't realize that during those few days, she'd also had a cerebral hemorrhage, or brain bleed for the non-doctors. When Sharon was eventually rushed to hospital, it was almost too late. Thankfully, she lived through the terrifying ordeal, but she paid a hefty price. The bleeding in her brain caused a lot of damage, and the actress spent 2 years in recovery.
And then I had to learn to walk, hear, write, talk, remember, and everything all over again.
The effects of the stroke and bleed were devastating, and the recovery wasn't much better.
I would say it took about 7 years for me to be fully and wholly recovered.
As Stone explained, "My recovery period was hell. I lost 18% of my body mass in 9 days. I came out of the hospital looking like teeth on a stick. Months later, I was really struggling." But it also had more than just a physical toll. Because of the damage to her body and brain, the actress's marriage with Phil fell apart, and she was refused custody of her son in the divorce.
I wasn't strong enough and healthy enough to be in court several times fighting for custody.
She recalled, "I had to remortgage my house. I lost everything I had. I lost my place in the business." As she later explained in an interview, the recovery process has been long and unbelievably difficult. The actress elaborated, "It took 2 years for my body just to absorb all the internal bleeding I had. It almost feels like my entire DNA changed. My brain isn't sitting where it used to. My body type changed, and even my food allergies are different." But it turns out that not even a near-death experience can stop her, because after years of determination and damn hard work, Sharon Stone is making an epic comeback. Getting back to business. Her recovery may have taken several years, but that doesn't mean that this actress was out of the limelight for that time. In fact, she powered through and managed to appear in several films, including 2006's Basic Instinct 2, while busy with her rehabilitation. However, while the first installment won her an Oscar, this version earned her a far less desirable award, a Golden Raspberry for the Worst Actress. In addition to getting back into filming, Sharon is further branching out in her career as an author and songwriter, collaborating with Haley Sales. On the personal front, she's adopted another 2 boys and says that their love is what gets her through a bad day. And while that's the sweetest thing I've heard in a good while, she's still looking for another kind of love. The actress is open to dating again. That is, if Bumble will let her. After signing up with the dating app, the star tweeted that her profile was blocked. And in the meantime, she's going full circle and returning to her first love, modeling. Last year, she was featured on the cover of Vogue Portugal in a pose that was a throwback to Basic Instinct and the start of an impressive and ongoing career. Now, if that's not rewriting history in the best way, then I just don't know. For more info on your favorite celebs, check out our other videos. And until next time, stay awesome.